The world is opening up. Let's go. It's time to explore again. If you're wondering what magical places you should experience next, this video could help make your decision. There are a million reasons why these places were chosen for film, not only because of their beauty or mystery, but because of their amazing history. We'll take a look at 10 of the most iconic movie locations you have to visit in real life. First on the list, immerse yourself. Magic of Hobbiton, New Zealand. The storybook-like setting of Hobbiton, home to Frodo and Bilbo Baggins, was built expressively for the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit films. If you happen to be in Matamata, New Zealand, you might like to go on a tour that takes fans to filming locations such as the Green Dragon Inn, Hobbit Holes, and the Mill. Sir Peter Jackson's site scouts were looking for the distinctive Hobbiton rolling hills and beautiful green meadows in 1998. They discovered the Alexander Farm, a lovely 1,250-acre sheep farm in Waikato. After conducting an airborne search, they saw the area's uncanny resemblance to J.R.R. Tolkien's description of the Shire and realized the hobbits had found a home. A majestic pine tree towered above a neighboring lake close to a rising slope in one portion of the property. Bag End currently lies on that hill, staring down on the party tree. As the pine was named, there were absolutely no electrical lines, buildings, or roads in the nearby surroundings. This allowed Sir Peter Jackson to completely fall into the Middle-earth mythical universe, leaving the 20th century behind. Next, soak up the beauty of Hatley Castle, Canada. Hatley Castle in British Columbia, Canada, which served as the exterior for Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters in the X-Men series, is a castle that exuded an atmosphere of majesty even before it was transformed into a film in 1996. Many of the exterior images for the films were shot in this location. While the interior of the castle was not used during filming, you may wander around it and fantasize about receiving an offer to study alongside some of the most renowned characters in comic book movie history. Hatley Castle is now a classified federal heritage building in Canada and is part of the Hatley Park National Historic Site. The Royal Roads Military College utilized it as a naval training station from the 1940s through 1995. Up next, walk the streets of Old Town Dubrovnik, Croatia. If you were to walk along the streets of Dubrovnik, Croatia's seaside city, you'd instantly identify the cobblestone streets and Gothic architecture as King's Landing, the capital of the Seven Kingdoms in Game of Thrones. Head to the Old Town District or the Walls of Dubrovnik to take some pictures at renowned locations where members of the Lannister family spent most of the season brooding. The majority of the Game of Thrones set in Dubrovnik are all within walking distance, and despite the use of brilliant CGI, they still appear like the real thing. From the UNESCO World Heritage Site's original city walls, which span for 1.9 kilometers, to the beautiful Lorterdumnak Fortress or Red Keep in the series, the island of Lokrum. The old town of Dubrovnik, a city of red-tiled roofs, pine and cypress-shaded slopes, beautiful blue waterways, dazzles with its architecture and landscape. Gaze upon the stone walls that were constructed during the 11th and 13th centuries to safeguard the city from conflict and pestilence. Next on the list, get lost in the ancient city of Petra, Jordan. Well, not literally, of course. For most fans of the series, numerous famous locales come to mind when they think of Indiana Jones. Most people will remember Indiana Jones riding over sandstone canyons on horseback in Petra, Jordan, in quest of the Holy Grail. The moments were so memorable that a tourism business was developed in the region. Filmed on site in a historic city over 2,000 years old that has been declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The scenes were so memorable that the tourism industry has been born in the area. Thousands of people take advantage of the opportunity to walk and ride in the footsteps of our archaeological hero every year. Petra was the capital of the Nabatean Empire, the ancient Arab kingdom that became wealthy because of its control of the spice road. Petra's carved rock faces provide witness to the civilization's affluence and majesty, which has endured to this day. At number 5, run from imaginary dinosaurs in the jungle of Oahu, Hawaii. Jurassic Park was filmed on the gorgeous Kualoa Ranch on the island of Hawaii, and even a brief glimpse across the dramatic expanse reveals how natural a decision it was to symbolize a world before time. The entire site, which has also served as a location for films such as Jumanji and Godzilla, is brimming with breathtaking landscapes and unspoiled natural beauty. A trip to Hawaii to visit the dinosaur dinosaur-infested park will be far safer than the movie depicts, with the main risk being that you will never want to leave what may be the closest thing to paradise on the planet. Kualoa is a working agricultural ranch and a 4,000-acre private nature reserve. The famous tourist site is owned and managed by 8th-generation heirs of the Holy Land. Is that not incredible? More than a dozen tour choices are available at Kualoa Ranch, ranging from gourmet excursions to adventure kayaking to movie tours. You should schedule your trips in advance because they frequently sell out 2 to 3 weeks in advance. Next on the list, sing your heart out at the island of Skopelos, Greece. The brilliant colors and beautiful architecture of the Greek island in Mamma Mia are difficult to forget. Fans may visit the real-life island of Skopelos in the western Aegean Sea, where the film was shot, even though the tale takes place on a fictional island. You may also take a bus excursion to see the Agios Lonis Chapel and Kastani Beach, which were both used in the production of the series. The name Skopelos, which means rock, derives from the limestone cliffs, but the island was chosen for its lush vegetation. While this is evident, it isn't the first thing that comes to mind while looking at the azure sky, turquoise ocean, and bleached white beach. A jetty and a beach bar were added to this unspoiled Mediterranean fantasy cove for the production, but now someone has opened a bar which delighted the fans of Mamma Mia. At number 7, admire the earthen structures at Ait Ben Houdou, Morocco. One of the most famous locations in the world is a little medieval hamlet in southern Morocco. You just don't recognize it by name. What do The Mummy, Kingdom of Heaven, Gladiator, Prince of Persia, and Game of Thrones have in common? They were all shot in part at Ben Houdou, a small town in southern Morocco, where the medieval Khazar of Ait Ben Houdou is located. Its attraction comes from its magnificent red desert scenery. Its group of earthen buildings surrounded by high walls and a magnificent example of Moroccan architecture, and is a World Heritage Site. In the Atlas Mountains foothills, Ait Ben Houdou appears as if a mirage. Its clay structures recall this once bustling trading center, which was a pleasant sight to nomadic travelers passing over the Sahara Desert. Another for the list, wander the halls of Alnwick Castle, Northumberland, Scotland. The Harry Potter film series is one of the most popular in cinema history, and it was shot in a variety of places throughout the years. Devoted fans, on the other hand, are in luck because this just means there is a lengthy list of amazing sites to visit that will elicit the series' legendary magical atmosphere. Alnwick Castle in Northumberland and Glanchester Cathedral, which inspired many of the exterior images and are significantly featured in the finished product, are two locations that hosted a significant amount of filming. For nearly 700 years, the Percy family has called Alnwick Castle home. They have built Alnwick Castle as a major visitor destination with their Duchess Jane, while the Duchess has spearheaded a horticultural revival with the establishment of the Alnwick Garden. Tours are run through the year except for when they close during the winter. At number 9, sip wine by the seaside on the island of Ischia, Naples, Italy. The 1950s era set of The Talented Mr. Ripley, a 1999 psychological thriller starring Matt Damon, Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, and the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, was filmed on this beautiful Mediterranean island in the Thahensian Sea. It grew in popularity as a tourist attraction, attracting millions of visitors each year due to its natural beauty and thermal baths. The island was also used in Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor's 1963 historical drama Cleopatra. Ischia, a volcanic outcrop in the Bay of Naples, is the most developed and biggest of the islands. Ischia, a Magna Graecia settlement that dates back to the 8th century BC, is known for its hot baths, groomed gardens, imposing Aragonian castle, and unshowy direct Italian airs, which are mirrored in its cuisine. And at number 10, follow in the footsteps of Lara Croft in the Bayon Temple, Cambodia. A visit to the sacred Bayon Temple inside the ancient city of Angkor Thom is a must for every Tomb Raider expedition. The most spectacular temple of them, Ta Prohm, is within a tangle of massive trees. You may journey to the 12th century Bayon Temple at Angkor Thom, the final city of the Khmer Empire, by following in the footsteps of the extremely brilliant and athletic English archaeologist Flora Croft. King Jayavarman VII erected the temple with its sea of over 200 huge stone faces in the late 12th century as part of a vast expansion of his city Angkor Thom. Thanks for watching, we hope you enjoyed it.